Mm. Okay, so here we are with Harish from Dubai, and he's going to tell us all about the coronavirus situation in Dubai. So Harish, how is it going? What stage of lockdown are you now in Dubai?
So yeah. So basically, here in Dubai, they went phase by phase. They didn't do a full lockdown on day one, but now we are on a now in Dubai we are on a full lockdown. So yesterday they announced. I mean, first they shut down the airport, then they shut down the gyms, they shut down the public places. Or sorry, the first they shut down the gyms, public places, then the airport, then the malls, and the last now they announced that the offices are closed and only 20% of your employees are allowed to be in the office. So and since for next 3 days from today to tomorrow, there is sort of a curfew, like a lockdown. No cars, no people on the road from 8 o'clock in the
Okay.
evening till 6 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why they said that is because they want to do some sanitization throughout the city. So they have
Okay.
requested to put the people to close their doors and windows, so it doesn't, in case if it's not good for somebody, it doesn't affect them. So next
What
three
kind of
days they're going.
sanitization? What kind of
Uh,
sanitization are they doing? Because we don't know
they
about it.
haven't. I didn't see the details on the news on the technicality of what chemicals or what stuff they're using, but they have just said that it's
Yeah.
sanitization of the city. So they had started that in certain areas, but next 3 days it's a full sanitization. So they have done a full, like a curfew or a lockdown where 8 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock in the morning we are not allowed to go out. And other than that, it's a lockdown. Like I said, that everything else is closed. But the 20% of the employees are allowed to go to work. So that's why the public transports are open, and the but
But
yeah,
tell
but
me
most of
something,
the
20% from all industries or only from the essential industries?
no 20, essential industries 100% are operating. So for example,
Okay.
pharmacies, supermarkets, and whatever essentials, and the other industries is 20%. So essential is fully up
Okay.
and running. In fact, the a lot of people are using the online deliveries, ordering food online, groceries. So all that is running in very efficiently. Except obviously you
Okay.
have some not so efficient, but generally, I have been trying them for last one week. I've been at home, and it's been quite good. So I mean, that way it's quite organized. It's very comfortable. There's no issues at all.
Tell me something. So basically, you are not in the stage of, you are not as far ahead as in Italy, because in our case, all industries now are closed, and it's only essential industries which are allowed to continue operation. All the
No, we are not.
others are closed.
No, we are not there. We are not there. I mean, the essentials are 20% employees are allowed to come, and sorry, essential is 100%, and the rest
Yeah.
20% are still allowed to work
So
because the operation is
how is it
running.
influencing your business? How is it influencing your business?
So what we actually did, we took a step already. It's been a week since we made this decision to. So before the government announced, we already made just for the safety of our team, and because we actually our company runs on a complete digital platform, so we run paperless. I
Okay.
mean, in my company we don't generate papers. So because
Okay.
this is an initiative we took more last year. It's been a year since we moved to a digital platform. So because of that, it was very easy for us, and also we got everybody's telephones and the company telephones extensions into their houses, so through their computers and through the software. So for us it was not so difficult. And
So
what we
you
do
can do
is,
the smart working. You
yeah,
basically apply the smart working now.
yeah, we
Yeah.
work from, yeah, like for example, because everyone was working on a laptop, and there was no papers, there was nothing. All approvals are happening online, all the processes are happening online. My accounting, my the all the other back office support is all online. So we don't really need it was easy for us. The only thing is that the deliveries, because that cannot be done online, the physically, because we are into the trading business, so physically delivery of goods have to be physical. So what we do is
In
we
which
arrange
business?
that
Sorry, I did not hear. In which business you are?
we are trading into industrial parts. So because our industry is not shut down, because we supply to power plants, we supply to factories, to manufacturing, and these industries have to continue, to run. I mean, you cannot shut
Yeah.
down a power plant, you
So you
cannot shut
need to
down a food.
support them.
yeah, you cannot shut down a food and a packaging plant because they're supporting the daily,
No, of
requirements of the
course,
people, or the
of
water
course,
manufacturing factories and all that. So
of
so we have two times a week we have our logistics people come in for 2 hours, and we arrange all the goods, and then we deliver through either our drivers or through courier companies and all. We arrange our deliveries. So that's how we work. So we are pretty, I mean, it's going pretty fine. We don't have see any major issues so far from operational point of view. So
That's something. And what is on your family level? Like, you have kids?
yeah, I have my son. He lives with his mother. So, and they're living 5-10 minutes away. But but I don't see him as reason why, because I go to the office 2 times a week, and sometimes I had to also go once to the bank and all because I'm exposed outside. I don't, I talk to him every day on the video. I don't meet him because he has, his allergies and certain, issues with his immunity. So I just, to be safety, I don't. But yeah, but we
Ah,
talk every day on
you
the
don't see him.
video.
So
Sorry.
you don't see him now in this period. You do
No,
not
no.
see him.
Physically, no, I don't see him over there. But we just video every day, and we talk to him,
Yeah.
and that's it. So yeah, because like I said, because I have
Okay.
a exposure outside, so I just want to be more safe.
Yes,
Because
of
he can
course.
easily pick up the
Of
virus
course.
infection. So
Of course.
that's it.
Tell me, please, and what about yourself? So you are basically now at home all the time. You do not come out at all, or you can come out sometimes.
So till few days back, I was going for a run in the evening, but now I stopped that because it came 3 days back in the newspaper. They advised not to go out for runs, not to just avoid, because if I'm running across somebody and someone sneezes or somebody even I would not come to know, and you'd pick up the virus. So the some of the senior people from the health authorities here were advising not to. So I stopped running, but I started making some schedule at home and trying to keep myself. Of course, there's a lot of work, so that keeps me I'm still working 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day. I'm working on the on calls, on conference calls, on computers and all that, so there's still enough work over here. But still there's a lot of time for myself, and yeah, and for me I take it in a positive way, because it's helping me to develop certain things I couldn't do, certain books I couldn't read, or certain like I wanted to play an instrument. Now I'm getting more time to do that, and I'm practicing that, and also planning myself for the, because this thing is temporary, it's not permanent. We have to realize that one thing in life, whatever comes, it comes to go. It never, nothing, no problem ever comes in life to stay. Every problem in the life
Exactly.
comes to go, and same way this problem will also go at some point over there. So and the only thing we can do at this point is to prepare ourselves, right? I mean, prepare ourselves to come out of it, because normally we are so busy in the day to day run, in the, as we call it, the rat's race. We are so busy that we don't have time to self analyze and analyze ourselves, analyze our work, analyze our life, our personal, a lot of things. We don't have time to do that. But especially in a city like Dubai, where it's all hustle bustle all the time. So yeah, so this is a great time for to retrospect on on myself, and see a few things. And so I have a huge task list. So what I do is I make a task list, and every day I have certain actions to do, because I always believe in life the only thing in our hand is to do actions. There's nothing else we can do, right? I can only do certain actions. The result is never in my hand, right? I mean, I don't have the control on the virus coming. I don't have the control on the virus going. But what I have control is on my actions every day. So what I do is I make a task list for daily, and I daily make certain tasks. Okay, today I need to do these, 5 things, 10 things, 12 things, or 20 things, depending on the time each task takes me. And that's it. That's what I do. And then I finish one day, I prepare the next day's task, and I do that. So every day I make a task and do that to and that could be personal tasks, to do certain extra meditations, or do certain, playing some music, or reading a book, or just watching certain movies which I didn't watch before, or anything it could be over there. So I keep myself busy, and then
So
yeah, in the
you
evening
are very organized. You are very
yes, yes,
organized.
yes, you have to be, and especially in these times, otherwise you just go like sort of like you don't know if you're not organized, because there's so much negativity around. The problem is, in this situation, that typically the mind is, going towards the negative side. That's a human nature. That's why the newspapers sell, because they always sell negative, because that's what we want to pick up. But then if we keep ourselves busy, if we keep ourselves organized, so I know that, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. So I don't give my chance for my mind, to go into negativity, and I avoid like these groups, or as we call it, the WhatsApp messages of negativity coming. So I avoid such people, I avoid such groups, and even if I have to, pass on messages to my son, so it's always jokes or humor. That helps us to get through this and keep yourself organized, so you don't feel the negativity, and that also improves ourselves. So when this thing is over, so we can do a much better job and a much better way of living than what we were doing previously. So,
Yeah, I mean, we can. I think we can take, this opportunity really that we have time. Like you say correctly, we normally don't have time, always rushing and always in the inertia of life. And now we got this time that we can invest in ourselves and really,
exactly.
come out stronger and happier and more focused and more really knowing what we want. Because sometimes, in our life, we are doing things that maybe we did not want to do. We just happen to be
Exactly.
there.
Yeah,
We happen
exactly.
to be in some situation, and now we got this. I really call it like a gift. Really, it's a
Exactly.
gift of
I
time
think this is a very,
because
I was talking to, yeah, like I was talking
yeah,
to, so, my family, and I think this is a blessing.
bless.
It's not a curse. It's a blessing which has happened, because this is, I mean, the
Yeah,
most expensive commodity we have is time, because time is the only thing
time.
which goes, doesn't come
Exactly,
back, right? I mean, the age doesn't go
exactly.
back, money
Yeah,
goes, money comes back, relation goes, relation comes back. But time is the only thing which goes, doesn't. So now the universe is given, universe is telling, okay, by the time I do my cleaning of the universe, I lower the pollutions, because removing the movement, and it does whatever it has to do. One thing it has given us is time, and it's a very important.
yeah.
It's a most.
Which kind of also, I think, I would say maybe reducing the pollution in our hearts and in our souls and in our
Yeah,
brains. Because
exactly.
that's what, if we take this opportunity really just to clean ourselves, right, from inside, and
Exactly.
get rid of all things, and maybe take some time to thank and to, for things that happen in our life that often we do not do that, right? We are just rushing and we have so many things and we do not stop to thank. So I
Exactly.
think it is very incredible opportunity. It's really an incredible thing. But the thing is, I tell you something. What is happening is that there are, I think it's like people that are today in a good phase with themselves, more or less. Like you're more or less in harmony with yourself, and you are more or less in harmony maybe with your life and everything. You are when you find yourself in this situation that you're quarantined with yourself, then you basically, you can find the positivity and you can see how to come out of it and how to use it in a positive way.
Mhm.
The problem is when people are not in a good place in their life,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and maybe they live with people they do not like,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
this happens, and then you
Yes.
are quarantined in a little box with these
Mhm.
people that you don't like, and
Yes.
this is even more important. I think it's even more important in this case, to really pull yourself together
Mhm. Mhm.
and see how you come out through that, and maybe you look at the people around you better and question yourself, why don't you like them in the first place?
Yeah.
Maybe there is something about them you don't see.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, it gives you
So
the.
it's
I mean, yeah, you rightly said. I mean, a lot of times you're probably with, and it's your own family, right? It could be your wife, your parents, or whoever. You're not in so much, and you were happy going to work because you avoid them. But yes, I mean, now you're in a situation where you have no choice but to sort of amend your ways, and and say, okay, what are the issues? You dig the graves, you remove the problems, you remove the skeletons, and try to throw them out, and you're forced to do that. I mean, that's the only way. Otherwise, every day there's negativity in the house.
yeah,
And another thing is important. Okay, we are in a we are in a fortunate position that we don't have to worry about having food on our plate, even if there is a recession. Even because obviously, like I was, like I believe that coming out of this virus is not going to be so, okay, you have this fever, you come out, and can come out of this virus. But when we hit a recession, which is where the world is going towards, if this continues for a few more months, coming out of that is going to be a big job, and we need to be
Yes.
prepared for that. I mean, the businesses which are going to shut down, or a lot of people are going to lose their, will probably lose their jobs, and there'll be a lot of there'll be a big shift in the economy, or a big shift in the
Never.
on the earth, which is going to happen not only in, from a nature point of view, but even from an economic point of view. Things will
Of course.
change, things will move. So yes, we have no choice but to prepare ourselves, and preparing could be,
We need to
sometimes it
show.
could be just preparing emotionally. There's nothing I can do, right? I mean, I have a loan to pay. If I lose my job, or I have a business, my business goes bust, and if I have a loan to pay, the bank and the creditors are going to come after me. So all I have to do is just prepare myself, and prepare to face whatever comes, prepare it, and just face the things. But yeah, this gives us, we have to. I mean, there is no choice. Like I said, that there is nothing. I mean, like you and me, we run our businesses. We don't know what is going to happen. Okay, if it runs if the situation is there for 1 month or 2 months, yes, we can manage, right? But if it goes on for 6 months, then what happens is, then you need to plan for
Already for 2 3 months, there is a big impact, on everything, the stock
yeah,
exchange and everything. I mean, now we already hit a recession, which is worse than the 2008. So we are
yeah,
already,
yeah, already in
the
that.
question is
Yeah,
how
yeah,
far we are going with that, But I
yeah, yeah.
definitely think that what again, we can be positive, and I think we can think about, that good changes are going to come, because if all of us as humanity, we can face ourselves, and we
Mhm.
can, be awakened, and we can become more aware and more conscious about our life, ourselves, the nature, everything around us, about our impact on everything, around us. Then I think some good things will come out,
It was, I
so
mean,
that's what we
yeah. It's
if we
always
raise
in
our
the end, it's always
vibration,
something good.
raise our vibration, then
Vibration is
then
yeah.
somehow good things will come out. I understand that it's very difficult to see it now, because maybe thinking, in the norms of what we perceived as norm before,
Mhm.
it will not be
Mhm.
a norm anymore in the future.
Yes,
So the
it'll change.
norms might
Yeah,
change,
there'll be movement.
but
Yeah,
I think we will have a good. Yeah, I'm positive. We need to keep positive. That is the important thing, right? I mean, the most important that we keep
yeah.
positive.
From my point of view, I have not stopped my expansion plans, and there are certain, okay, I'm just waiting for things to open up. I can't do, but there is no, I'm not stopping, I'm not changing, and I'm not making any amendments because of this. I don't plan to, of course, unless financially I'm forced to, there's no money at all, and then I'm forced to take actions. That's a different situation. But even at this particular point, I would, want to still go ahead with my, the business expansions I was planning and everything. But I mean, coming down to that positive, one of the things what we have to learn from this is acceptance. Because the biggest challenge on this earth is not accepting what is happening. So generally every day in the life we are frustrated because, oh, he told me this, or she told me this, or my boss told me this, or my. But here we have to realize that a thing like a virus which we cannot even see has brought us down to our knees, and the only thing we can do is accept, because what will help us to move ahead is just accepting whatever comes, which is not in our control, and just saying, okay, this is it, I accept it, and I embrace it, and I'm going to move ahead from there. And that is what is helping. I mean, and it's irrelevant which, and the acceptance is that irrelevant, right? You could be a corporate, you could be a small company, or you could be a guy doing a job in a construction labor, whatever position you're working at, whatever your situation or status in life is. Acceptance is the only thing which can help us. That's it, and take it from there. There's nothing, like you said, is take it in the right way,
And
accept it, and move ahead.
I think it's also another interesting thing which comes out of it is the acceptance of death and the awareness of death,
Yes.
because so many people are dying every day from many things, right? From cancer, from alcohol, from drug abuse, from accidents, from sexual diseases, from many things, right? But no one is counting those people. There is no funky applications which are showing you how many people died today from cancer and died today from that and died today from that. So we are not aware of it, and we are somehow living this life like we are immortal, and that is problematic because we are taking things for granted, and I think what we really need to do, we need to be aware of that, and we need to understand that life and death is the same and is happening in the same time. You can say I'm living or you can say I'm dying, is the same basically, right? And and if you understand that, if you are aware of that, then every second of your life you live 100%. Every second of your life you are joyful and you are grateful and you are grateful that you are alive.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I keep saying. Death is actually, for me, like what I've experienced in the last few years is I've realized death is actually beautiful. It's not, we put a death as a skeleton, a bad guy, a devil, or this guy with some, trying to kill you. No, death is actually beautiful because it's like, if I give you one meal a day, and I give you a small amount of the meal, and I say this is the only meal you have every day, you will cherish that meal. You will eat it slowly. You will enjoy it. You will. So the same thing is with life, right? If you know that I'm going to die, and that could be tomorrow, that could be the next breath, or that could be after 30, 40 years, whatever the time. Yeah, but you will enjoy every breath you have, and just life itself is beautiful. We are lucky that we have this life. We're lucky that we have this opportunity. We are lucky that we are born as humans, to actually do something and to higher our increase our consciousness.
Exactly, and in a very critical moment in history, of human civilization, really, we are in a very critical moment of human evolution. So it's really about, going to the next level of evolution, really developing awareness and consciousness. And I think the most important thing that we don't hear about, but our spirituality, is really understanding that we are not this physical body and we are beyond that. There is this divine energy of life which is connecting all of us, and you and me, we are the same life, just experiencing the life in different bodies, right? So if we understand that we are all the same, that we can include each other instead of excluding each other, and that I think that is the amazing thing which is happening today from this virus. And that's why also, I like doing these interviews with people from all over the world, because just to feel that, we are all connected. It doesn't matter if you are in Dubai, in Italy, someone is in Spain, in London, in India, in Malaysia, in Canada. It doesn't matter where we are. It's bigger than us. The divine energy of life is everywhere, and we are just here, just can be grateful for being able to experience it in this life, so
and I mean, one of the things I would say, what most of the biggest issue in this virus thing is the media, is the propaganda, right? I mean, you have this or what do you say, a clock, or or this map where it tells you, how many people are dying every hour, or how many. And so I actually went on the WHO website, and I just wanted to understand what is the death rate in the world. And they gave a fact that in 2016, 50 million people died on Earth. Out of these 50 million people, 50 or 60%, I'm not so sure, but about more than 50% were because of diseases, right? The rest of the 50% or lower than that were because of old age, right? They had a natural death. But more than 50% had this. And out of these, 15 million people died of heart attack, right? The biggest cause of heart attack. Then there is, of course, cancer and influenza and AIDS and all these. But we are not rushing, nobody's doing that, right? I mean, everybody's still enjoying their, the unhealthy lifestyle, or having meat and, having all these way. No one is, saying, oh, I will cut down on this, or I will cut down on that, and I will cut down on that to increase that. Whereas, because nobody advertises it, right? There's no clock telling you that how many person is dying every second because of heart attack, right? If everybody in the world, and I think we should do that.
think we need to adopt it. We need to adopt it. And for example, we should make a clock showing how many kids are dying from hunger still today in the world.
Exactly. They should do
It's
that.
good, if, if we put this clock on the table when we are eating, and we just be aware that at this moment that we are eating, there is a child that dies, and maybe every second there is one child that dies,
Yeah, there are more people dying in Africa or in India because of coronavirus, but everyone is freaked out about this coronavirus. Then they are about the real the real issues in this world, or the real problems which are happening. So you're right. I
But
mean,
maybe we
and
should inspire by that. Maybe we should make a startup, Harish. Harish, let's make a startup. We make a world clocks which are counting all the deaths, all different deaths in the world, and we are going to have a website that is just projecting those numbers every second. So if someone wants to be, they can just open it and see what is happening at any moment.
Yeah. And one other thing we should realize is that I mean, this virus is not the end of the world. I was seeing, I mean, because of this, I saw the documentary on the 1918 flu, or they call it the Spanish flu, which was the last major pandemic which happened in the world. And during those times, they estimate about 50 to 100 million people died. And of course, that time there was, the science or the technology, a lot of things weren't ahead. So there were a lot of, 50 to 100 million people died. But still, it didn't end the world. The world didn't end. The things didn't finish. Everything moved on. The humans evolved, and everything. Things moved on, and things got better. We learned from those mistakes, and we did things better.
The system was not stopped in a way it is stopped now. That is interesting, because no one stopped the system. I'm saying that when there was the Spanish flu, no one has shut down the system as we are witnessing now, right?
Yeah,
in 1980s.
But I think it's good. So I would like to take this in another way. So I'm not against the shutting down what they're doing now. So if you see the 1980 flu, if you see the documentary or you read about it, only every country there was a death because of the flu, but one country there was no death, which was the Western Samoa. So the Western Samoa had 0 death during the 1918 flu, and the reason being because they shut down the borders. They closed down the borders, so they were safe. The people were safe. And of course, they took a little bit extreme and they shut it down for 2 years or 1 year. In those days, things were different, so it was easy to shut it down for 2 years. But shutting down the borders or shutting down did help. Like even in this case, what China did. China, basically came to standstill for 2 months, and the graph started to drop. So in a way, I think it's good, right? We need to stay at home. We need to to be in isolations. We need to do that in order to in order to control it. But what I'm trying to say is there's no need to panic, right? There's nothing to panic about. You do your basic precautions. You do your basic things. You like we discussed in the at the beginning of this discussion. You be positive. You take time for yourself, but do everything. But don't be afraid. Don't be panic. It's not the end of the world. Everything will move on. This is only a temporary phase where the universe is teaching us a few lessons. So all we need to do is learn these lessons and move on. That's it.
And thank. Also thank. Learn and thank. We always should thank every lesson that is coming into our
life. Learn and thank.
Exactly. Good. Okay, Harish, thank you so much for your time and for your great input and your inspiration, and for your report on Dubai. And so we catch up later. We see how the situation is developing, and we will catch up later.
For sure. We'll do that. And you take care, Leah.